So what's up, guys? This is World Series G and I'm back. So normally I do team breakdowns and today I'm going to do one, but it's going to be completely different. Actually, I'm breaking down a team that I've already broken down. So why? So if you've been under a rock for like the last few days, you would know that the Cleveland Cavaliers completely rebuilt their roster. So they traded off 6 guys, got 4 new guys, and completely changed the dynamic of the roster. So that Cleveland Cavaliers breakdown, wherever I pointed, I was trying to point to the card. I don't even know if I pointed to the card. But yeah, that Cleveland Cavaliers breakdown is kind of irrelevant at this point. So I'm going to break down this new roster. I'm going to do a little bit different though. We're not breaking out offensive sets or like defensive stuff. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about defense, but we're going to really just talk about the guys they added and how they mesh and what they add to this team and make them different. And I personally think they got a lot better. So video game wise and in real life. So let's just get into the roster real quick. Let's talk it through. Let's talk about the new guys they added. So we're here, and this is just the regular roster view. So LeBron James is still there. Kevin Love, who's hurt, also second guy. You got Jeff Green, who I personally, that's my personal thoughts. And here's the new guys. So we got Rodney Hood 79, Larry Nance 79, Jordan Clarkson 78, George Hill 77. So that's the new Cavs. I wouldn't say big 4 because they're not like big, but like they're new role players, the new guys they added to play alongside LeBron James and Kevin Love and win a 4th straight Eastern Conference title. So each of their players have their strengths, each of them have their weaknesses, but they all kind of mesh. So first 2 guys I want to talk about is Rodney Hood, George Hill. If you look at their archetypes right there, you see with George Hill, 2-way point. Rodney Hood, 2-way guard. So automatically, you're getting 2 guys who can help you defensively. The Cavs are not a good, were not a good defensive team. They just weren't. They weren't, I think, the 2nd worst team in front of the Kings. If you're as bad as the Kings defensively, if you're the bad as the Kings in anything, you're bad. You're real bad. So yeah. So adding 2-way guys like this is definitely going to help them defensively. The other 2 guys are Lakers players, Larry Nance and Jordan Clarkson. And they all have special parts of their game that's going to help them. So let's get into a little bit deeper into their ratings. So first guy is Rodney Hood, who I personally like a lot. I think he's got a really good game, but it's kind of been iffy. He hasn't come together all the way. He probably got thrown into that role in Utah too much to be the man. But let's look overall at his numbers. So 83 wide open 3. So that's huge because you know LeBron's going to handle the ball a lot and he's going to want his shooters to shoot. So 83 contested, 80 moving. So the guy's a knockdown shooter. He's really good at 3s. Also, shot IQ is high, free throws. He's a scorer. Like, he can score. So all of those scoring attributes is going to be high. Speed with the ball is iffy, is good. Hands, post control. Let's get in offensive consistency, 80, so it's decent. He's not going to kill you some games. Let's look at him defensively. So this is what's going to help. On-ball defensive IQ. Pick and roll defensive IQ. Defensive consistency. Not great, but not terrible either. He's a solid defender. You can put him out there, and he's not a lockdown, but he's definitely going to help you on the defensive end. You don't lose by having Rodney Hood on the floor. So next guy we're going to look at here is going to look at George Hill. So George Hill's the veteran. He's the old guy, 31. But he's played in playoff games, so which is going to be vital. Played with Indiana. He actually played against LeBron on that Paul George, Roy Hibbert team in Indiana. So he's got the experience. 2-way point. One thing I even noticed, 93-point open. Only guy higher on the team is Kyle Korver. If you can replace Kyle Korver's sharp shooting with a guy like George Hill, you're winning because George Hill brings so much more to the table besides his just 3-point shot.
He plays point guard, which is huge for you. And he's a really good defender. He can defend both ones and twos. And you're going to need him when you're playing against guys like Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan, Kyrie Irving. You need a guy who can defend. And it's 93-point open, contested's 88, movement's 88. So he's a knockdown shooter. He can hit the three. Defensively, you're going to see it. When we get there, we're going to get to his on-ball 79, pick and roll 78, help 79, defensive consistency 75. So again, not a super lockdown, but the more good defenders you have on your team, the better you can run your overall scheme. Basketball is not about one-on-one, it's about help and other things. So having George Hill and having smart defenders, and we all know in 2K, if you got dumb defenders, you're struggling defensively because you can't control everybody. So more smart defenders you have is the better. So that's George Hill right there. George Hill, Rodney Hood, two biggest additions. Now let's get to the other two guys. Next guy is Jordan Clarkson. His archetype is playmaker. And pretty much what you're getting from Jordan Clarkson, you're probably going to want a spark plug off the bench. He can get you buckets. Put him in the pick and roll. He's a combo guard, 6'5", so he's got good size and good length. Length always helps you defensively, no matter what. Even if you're not the best defender, just being long is going to disrupt guys defensively, is going to cause trouble. So he does that. Across the board, pretty decent. 75 open, contested three. Not a knockdown shooter, but he can hit an open three. He can hit a three if needed. Shot IQ is pretty high, 84. Layup, he can finish around the rim. He's also another point guard, so another ball handler if you don't want the ball in LeBron James' hand all the time. Defensively, 65 on ball, 68 pick and roll defense. So that's the issues you're going to have, is he's not a great help, is 58, so he's definitely no help when it comes to help defense. And his consistency is a 40, so he's not a defender. So if you want defensive lineups, that's not what you want from Jordan Clarkson. But with this team, you don't really need him to be that, honestly. You just want him to be another guy who can get you some buckets in your bench units. Maybe come in, play alongside George Hill, which can help him. Maybe you can hide him defensively against a team that doesn't have two strong guards. You can put him out there, hide him on somebody who stands in the corner. But he can get you some buckets and he can create for himself, which is needed. And then the last guy, Larry Nance Jr. So he's perfect in the sense that he's tall. Well, he's not super tall. He's 6'9". But you can play him in center because teams are playing small anyway. So it's not, a lot of teams are going to play small. And I kind of think of him as like a poor man's Clint Capella if you run like a Houston-style offense, which is what I think they're going to do a lot of in Cleveland now, and what you should do in 2K because the game kind of caters to that. LeBron James runs the point, let Nance roll, and just keep three shooters around him, and it'll be perfect. Like, that's exactly what you need. He's going to finish. He's going to dunk. First of all, he's going to dunk. That's what Larry Nance does. And he's going to roll and rebound. So he's definitely helpful. He definitely can jump and defend. So that's what you're going to want. And he's going to be vital in those situations for your team overall to make you more successful. So overall, I really like what the Cavs did. It made them more athletic. And with that athleticism, you mean better defense. They can fly around better. Even in 2K, that helps because length is very useful in 2K. Athleticism is helpful in 2K also. It might actually be a little more helpful in 2K than it is in real life. The athletes really stand out in 2K. So getting away from those kind of smaller guys like IT, which we all know, you go to a basket with him, he's getting blocked. You're going to help you a lot. So I think this is really helpful. Starting lineup-wise, I don't really know what they're going to do. In their first game against Boston, they started most of the guys, my fault. They started most of the guys that were on the roster before. The only guy they started is George Hill. I think as time progresses, you're going to see more of Rodney Hood. I think Rodney Hood's really going to be real vital to this team. But probably they might put Nance on the bench. I personally is always going to want to start with Tristan Thompson or Larry Nance. Never want to play them together. Always want to have four shooters on the floor. Even if that means LeBron at the 4, Hood. You could do LeBron at the 4, Hood at the 3, Clarkson and Hill, Nance, if you want to put them all together, if that's what you feel like doing. But also like Jeff Green, J.R. Smith, those guys, Seti Osman, who's also a good defender if you want to get defensive. So it definitely, that's the best thing they did, was make this team more interchangeable, mixing and matching, can switch now and do the type of things that most, you know, really good NBA teams do. They're not stuck to these old guys who can't really do much. They're like in one, they have one role. These guys can switch and be interchangeable, and you can allow the offense to be more free flow. You can move and stuff like that. So I think, honestly, this team's going to be a terror in 2K, because LeBron by himself is a terror. We don't even mention what this team looks like when you got Kevin Love, who can also rebound and score. Him and Larry Nance, I mean, might grab all the rebounds. So you got that. They're just going to be fun to play with. So that's going to be my breakdown with the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. Have fun playing with them. I hope I see a lot of you guys online playing with them. Probably you will be playing with the Cavs, because everyone loves LeBron in the first place, and I think this team is actually a lot better than the old one in 2K-wise too. So they're going to help. Like I always say, if you like this, please like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment. I got a new team breakdown coming out soon. I was working on it, and then one of their guys got traded. So I was like, there's no point in me trying to do a breakdown for a team with a guy who's not on it no more. So yeah, you get that. That all makes sense. So other than that, this is World Series G. I'm signing out. Peace.